If you hate scrolling online through paragraphs and paragraphs of best places to live in Minnesota, then this video is for you. Let's face it, Minnesota is a total mixed bag. From the rolling bluffs and valleys in the south to the Twin Cities and the city lakes around the metro, Minnesota has a bunch of different flavors, and in this video, I'm gonna give you my personalized and biased top 3 cities to live in all of Minnesota, and we're gonna go a little bit deeper than all of those paragraphs would ever go so you can get a better feel on if Minnesota is a good place for your family to live. I'm Austin Maymaritas, aka your Minnesota moving guide and place for all things real estate on YouTube. And if you're a returning viewer, you know we have a gentleman's agreement that you will agree that if this video is valuable to you in any way, you will trade me a subscribe button and maybe even a like on this video, because that tells me I'm doing a good job and motivates me to make more great content. So jumping right into city number 1, I have lived here my entire life, you guys, and this city is where I decided would be the best fit for me. City number 1 is Plymouth. So the draw to Plymouth can really be broken down in 2 simple words, and that is location and schools. I like to be extremely close to all the fun things to do in Minnesota, but I don't necessarily want to jeopardize safety or a quiet neighborhood. So what Plymouth has is proximity to everything great. Wayzata being the first thing. Plymouth is about a 10-minute drive to Minneapolis's #1 lake community. It's very bougie. It's got a lot of shopping. It's got amazing restaurants, beaches for families. You can walk your dog right on the lake. And it's basically just one main strip. So I like to go to Wayzata for date nights. I know a lot of people go there just to spend some money or enjoy a little weekend with friends. And I find that if I'm close to Wayzata but not actually in it, I get to kind of feel like I'm living that like high roller lifestyle without necessarily paying for it. Another reason I like the location besides Wayzata is because if you go 10 minutes north, the opposite direction, you're gonna run into one of the biggest and hustle and bustle suburbs in all of Minnesota, and that's Maple Grove. Maple Grove is known for being very family friendly. They have everything from splash pads, arcades, to high-end dining, sports bars, outdoor activities, you name it, Maple Grove's got it. But why wouldn't you just want to live in Maple Grove? Well, I did a full Maple Grove city tour right above that I'll link here, but a lot of people think that it's very, very congested. Because the popularity around the amenities for families, a lot of people have moved into Maple Grove. So it feels like in Plymouth, you've got a little bit of a better pace of play, a little more space to breathe, and a lot less traffic. So the location's great. You're tucked between 2 of the most fun areas to hang out and 2 great cities to live as well. But why would I recommend living in Plymouth over Wayzata or Maple Grove, which neighbor Plymouth? It's because point number 2, which was schools. So if you're a Plymouth resident, there's a very good chance that your kids will be going to Wayzata schools. And that means that you're going to be in the #1 school district in a state that's widely renowned for having great public schools. The Wayzata School District is home to one of the most impressive high school campuses I have ever seen. It's also got 7 elementary schools, 3 different middle schools, and like I said, 1 breathtaking high school. Wayzata is also able to maintain a spectacular student-to-teacher ratio, making it a hotspot for families who are relocating to the Twin Cities. You know, I wouldn't move on to city number 2 without letting you know how much it's going to cost you to live in Plymouth. And Plymouth has an average price point of $475,000 as of 2024, and I got that stat from Redfin. City number 2 actually lies right in between Minneapolis and Plymouth, which we just outlined, and that's gonna be St. Louis Park. And St. Louis Park is the socialite city. And it's also the city that I always give out when people ask me this question, which is, where do I live if I don't want to break the bank and I want to have consistent plans with my friends on the weekends? So one of the main draws to St. Louis Park, in my opinion, is that it's got that city center with the shopping you want, the restaurants, the grocery stores. But then come 9-10 p.m., the city kind of flips into a very fun night out. It's a great place to grab drinks with your friends, great place to hop around from breweries to game areas and all types of things in between. The second biggest pro to St. Louis Park is that it's going to be the closest suburb to Minneapolis. So you're just about an 8-minute straight shot from the downtown area. You still get the large lots, the single family neighborhoods that are very walkable, and all at a pretty affordable median home price. And while we're on the topic of median home price, in St. Louis Park, the average sale price was $375,000 in 2024, according to Redfin. City number 3 would probably be #1 on my list if I could afford it, and that's going to be Edina, Minnesota. So the main draw to Edina is going to be predicated around these 3 things, which is safety, infrastructure, and schools. Honestly, Minneapolis has been talked about a lot lately for having high crime, but in Edina, you only have 1.18 violent crimes per 1,000 crimes. It's some of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the entire first two ring suburbs. Second point being infrastructure, and what I mean by infrastructure is hospitals, proximity to things, etc. And as with any high-end city, you're going to want to be close to the airport. Edina is just about a 15-minute straight shot to MSP, and located within Edina is one of the best hospitals in the entire state outside the Mayo Clinic, and that's going to be Fairview Southdale off of France Avenue. Edina's also got a top 5 public school rating in the entire state of Minnesota. I've got a link to my top 5 school districts right above if you want to do more research on that topic. Honorable mention to Edina's shopping. It's definitely the shopping destination where people travel far and wide across all the suburbs to come to the Galleria in Edina and Southdale. Now getting back to the main reason why Edina is number 3 on my list of suburbs, and that's going to be that the median home price sits at a lofty $595,000. So real quickly, I just want to unpack what you really get for your money in these median home prices for all 3 cities. Because in Edina, a starter home for $595,000 is truly that. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath with maybe 2,000 square feet, and that's going to run you about $600,000. So what you can expect for that starter price point in St. Louis Park, which if you remember was $375,000, is a little bit different. You still get the larger lots, but usually you get a smaller house. Probably looking at a 2 or 3 bedroom, 1 or maybe 2 bathrooms, and somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 square feet. And now touching on what you can get for the median home price in Plymouth, I feel like it's the best bang for your buck, as right about at $475,000, you're going to be getting still a starter home, but it's a big starter home. You usually are, looking at closer to 3,000 square feet, enough beds for a family that has kids already, likely more than 2 bathrooms, and almost always a 2+ stall car garage. All right, that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you found this insightful at all, please, please, please comment below. Let me know the next city you want me to break down, or if there's an area of Minneapolis you're targeting. I would be happy to make content directly for you, because that's what this channel is all about. And until the next video, your Minnesota Moving Guide signing off, and I'll see you at the next one.